Welcome to Coleman Report Live. I'm Bob Coleman. We're talking Main Street and the small business lenders that help it grow. Lance, Katie, and Jennifer Blumig with Eventfully Yours.
Correct.
That's 2 in a row. All right.
That's twice, yes. It's only taken 4 years, but it's fine.
Well, I'm a dog. Once I learn it, I learn it. But it's old dog. Something about old dog, new tricks. I don't know what that is. Oh, very good. Hey, we have exciting news about that. But before we get to that, let's go into, do we have polls? Let's see. I don't have a script, Joseph or Michael or someone. It's on the, do we have polls? Oh, here we go. Buried. I got it. Okay. I'm good. All right, let's go to the first poll, and then we're going to talk about Jennifer. When does the tenant relief foreclosure moratorium end? June 30 this month, July 31 next month, September 30, unknown, will probably be extended. Lance, why am I asking this question, and why is that important for our crowd? You know, we're saying, hey, these are tenants. Go ahead.
I think it's real important, Bob, because if you do any commercial real estate lending, certainly this is an important issue for you. It may have some impact on small business borrowers who have not been paying their rent because of this. I mean, there are a variety of areas where a financial institution would be interested in this. You know, from a small business perspective, you know, they may come out and be several months past due on their rent and may get kicked out.
Lance, we know that if they make different states have different rules, but basically if they make a percentage payment, oh, by the way, the answer is June 30th, but we think it's going to be extended. Just that's the answer. But I'm unclear on this. Maybe that's, you can help me out, Lance. So we have a small business owner and they've been making minimum payments, but let's say it's June 30th, they owe $10,000. What are the regulations? Is it amortized? Do you have to write a check? What's your understanding of what's happening?
I've not seen the regulations, Bob. I think it's up to negotiation between the building owner and the tenant.
Okay.
But I've not seen specifics on how they deal with the past due rent. I don't know any of my borrowers that have taken advantage of this, but I know in larger cities, certainly this is something that has been taken advantage of, not taken advantage of, but people had to use it. And I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, Bob, because the building owners are going to want somebody in their building. So I think
it's not worth anything unless it generates cash. Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the collateral. Our collateral are those centers. Our collateral is a second home someone may have that they're renting out. That if you're not getting payment on it, there's no value there. So it's an important issue. It will be. This was passed back in February. It's another one of those. We don't have all the information. But I bring it up for this, for cash flow analysis, find out what's happening and find out if they're taking advantage of or utilize the program, what's the plan for paying it back? Because that could be a pretty big number that they have to absorb within whatever it is, 2 years, 90 days, balloon. And I think any business that gets kicked out of their location is in jeopardy.
Oh, there's no doubt, Bob. So, I mean, it's an important issue. And I look forward to seeing some details if there's any guidance from the federal government on how you're supposed to work out the past due.
Courtesy. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we bring it up. Courtesy of Katie, what industry experienced the largest drop in annual revenue? Katie, I assume this is between 2020 and 2019. Is that our time frame?
Well, we're looking at just over the pandemic in general. So this is going to be from 2020 to present day.
Okay. So
I know one that it's not.
Which one?
It's not oil and gas.
Well, you're wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong. Go ahead, Katie. Oil and gas is only 11%. Tell us why it's oil and gas. That also includes C stations, Lance.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. It's so oil and gas was down 20%, which was the largest out of the 7 that QuickBooks was able to separate out 7 categories, and that one was the biggest drop by far at 20%. You also had recreation that was 20% just below it, so that was also would have been a great answer. Surprisingly, restaurants weren't on there, and I thought it would be. Obviously, hotels is on there. They're at 12%, but definitely a little unexpected there. I would have expected restaurants to have been on the at least the top.
And say it's tough to answer a survey when you're out of business, but anyway, go ahead.
Really unexpected results there, because I would have thought hotels would have been number one. I wouldn't have picked oil and gas, Bob, because I've done some C-store loans, and the ones I've seen are doing fantastic. So
Yeah, and I think we get a prize to the first person that fills up their tank with the 3-digit. I'm getting close in California with the 3-digit credit card charge. So
yeah, that's on its way, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can disagree with those results, and I'm with you.
I'm also stunned that movie theaters are only 15% drop in revenue. I mean, the movie theaters around me were closed for a long time, and as soon as they opened up, Bob, my wife and I went to see a movie, and it's like a personal showing. There were only 2 other people in the theater.
Yeah, I think something that probably gives this data a little bit of a skew is that it is looking till present day. So anything that started to pick up is probably not going to be reflected as big of a drop, because we're not looking at the lowest point for each of these. So that is something to consider. But I do find it interesting that it was oil and gas. I would have expected probably restaurants or hotels.
Katie, let's continue with you. Chairman Velasquez, she commented on the May jobs report for small business. What does that mean? And what is she saying?
Yeah, so she does a report about every month looking at the May jobs report, kind of just giving a summary of what's going on and where the SBA wants to go based on that report. So the current report is showing that unemployment has hit the lowest point since the pandemic at 5.8%, which is great. That means we're recovering. She commented that since the beginning of the year, we've saved over 2 million jobs have been created or started, and that's great to see, especially to help with that unemployment issue. Now you almost have the opposite issue where people are trying to not necessarily find jobs, but there's a lot of job openings available. So that is a new concern that isn't necessarily reflected in this jobs report. Leisure and hospitality industries that were some of the heaviest hit sectors generated over 50% of May's job gains. So those industries are coming back, and are coming back pretty strong, which is great. Then they kind of broke it out by race and gender. You are seeing the unemployment rate for white Americans did fall slightly last month, but only by 0.2%. So that's really not too big of a concern. That will probably pick back up. So you have Black and Hispanic down 0.6. So it really, overall, we are going to where we're supposed to be going.
Good.
And then, of course, for women, it's dropped to 5.5%. For men, 6%. Everything's headed in that correct direction. We're getting a much lower unemployment rate now.
Well, it's certainly nice to be able to talk about these statistics when we're on the way up than talking about a year ago when how low can you go? But again, this is different. A year ago, we knew we knew when we were going to get out of it, and it looks like we're on track on that. Yeah, and we all read the things that the unemployment didn't hit the numbers. Well, this is what I care about. What do we got? What do we have in hand? And let's not forget the impact of PPP. Hey, I want to bring Jennifer in here. Jennifer, thank you for joining us. We have big news. What are we doing, Jennifer?
Well, speaking of recovery here, so we are excited that we are back in person. So if you want to bring up the slide, we've got a lot going on this year. It's kind of crunched into the summer-fall schedule now. So, starting in the next couple of weeks, tomorrow we have a virtual series starting, and that'll be at SBA headquarters update, which you can register for at glqc.org. And that's a series of 6 sessions that will happen from June to November. And then, of course, Music City has gone virtual this year as well. But, the good news is starting in August, mid-August, we have America East, which will be our first in-person official conference in Philadelphia. So we're really, really excited about that.
Well, what I like is now the session tomorrow, is it just the hour and a half and that's it?
It is. So what the group decided was, instead of doing a full-blown conference where you've got to sit in front of your computer for 8 hours, let's just do one session that's an hour, hour and a half, once a month. And that's really the entire commitment for 6 months. And tomorrow happens to be an SBA headquarters session. We've got Patrick Kelly. We have Diana Seaborn, Linda Riley, Rosemary Drake.
Here's the cost of the mission. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth registering for the entire series, even just for tomorrow alone, for sure.
How much does it cost to register?
It's $249 for GLQC members. It's a little more if you're a non-member.
$349. So
Yeah.
talk to Jennifer. There's the info at Eventfully Yours that you can go ahead and contact them. July, you got international trade loans, which I'm a huge fan of that. PPP forgiveness. I hope you, that may be an asterisk. You may have to move that one to August. August, you got B&I construction. September, you have closing. October 12th, secondary market franchise, and November 9th. Now, I'm going to challenge you on this. You have an SOP update. What do you know I don't know?
Well, we're hoping to have an SOP update by that point. And primarily 504, there's a lot of debt refi updates, I know. So, that's the goal, is kind of putting it out there, and we know there'll be something at that point. But yeah, so the rest of the sessions from July to November, there'll be a choice of up to 3 breakout sessions that someone can attend or jump in between for those sessions. So, the typical breakout sessions we would have for the conference, those are all being held, throughout that 6-month period.
Now, the benefit for signing up for this conference is you're also a member of Lenders Connect. And our big news is Jennifer and I have talked, and she does a wonderful job in this. So you have acquired Coleman's PPP SBA answer desk, and
Right.
I don't know if you've reached out to those people. We'll make, for those of your current members, we'll make sure you get all the information, the login and whatever. She does a great job on that, and I was looking at what she was doing, and I said, let's don't compete with Jennifer on this. Let's let her have that niche, because, well, you're doing great. So,
well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do.
Lenders Connect does.
Yeah, so Lenders Connect is an online community, 24/7, available just like a Facebook or a LinkedIn. I kind of envision it a little bit in between the two. It's not as formal as LinkedIn or as informal as Facebook. It's somewhere in between there, where you can connect with other SBA lenders. So it's a dedicated captive audience of just SBA lenders across the country. And you can network with them. You can see what the upcoming events are, which could be things that Lenders Connect is hosting. We do 2 free sessions a month, one for a manager's exchange, one for all members. And then we also post all of the upcoming conference events and things like that. So it's definitely the place to be if you want to be in the know of, what's going on. Even if you're a lender and you're struggling with something right now in the news feed, it's a perfect place to kind of post, hey, I'm having an issue with this closing. Anybody have any suggestions? It's a great, peer-to-peer dialogue opportunity. So, this just shows the networking component here and how you can make connections really across the board and put faces with names and continue those conversations,
Yeah, you do.
between
That's why we're doing this. Good for you. Tell us about your first in-person event. Where, when, how, who, what, why?
Yep. So first in-person event will be in Philadelphia. So that is America East, the whole Northeast region. We're starting to get some good pickup for that now that we've announced that this is officially a go. I think a lot of lenders were hesitant up until now, but I think we're seeing that kind of turnover just as we talked earlier. Things are starting to recover. Vaccination percentages are higher. We've got a company that's going to manage the back end anonymous people kind of going in and saying, I'm vaccinated, or, whatever the case may be, I've taken a negative test, and that way, we are assured everybody is safe and having a great time. So.
What is the GLQC retreat in August?
Oh, that's actually really, really fun. So that's going to be the in-person opportunity for, all the Georgia folks. And if you're around the Georgia area, it's about 40 minutes from Atlanta. It's really just an opportunity to kind of interface with a bunch of, local lenders. We've got a half-day training on Friday, but after that, it's really just kind of fun events with everyone. There's a bonfire on Friday night. There's a picnic and outdoor reception on Saturday, different events during the day like goat yoga and wine tastings and things like that. So it's kind of a bring the family thing. It's at Serenbe, which is
really,
awesome.
really goat yoga.
Goat yoga. You haven't heard of it?
Goat?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's the newest
I gotta
trend,
do
Bob. You
that.
got to try it.
Very good. Okay. Let's just say there are a number of activities, including the wine tasting, that you can choose from. How's that?
Correct. If goat yoga is not your thing, I'm sure that the wine tasting will be up your alley.
I have to research the goat yoga. Very good.
Yeah.
Mid-America, obviously, in Texas, is that a live or virtual? The rest of these are all live.
The rest of these are live in person. When we surveyed attendees, everyone is really gearing to get out there. And, it was, if we had 100 people taking the survey, it was 98 that were going in person and really only 2 that were, saying they still wanted to do virtual. So
Jennifer does a great job. It's priced very well, very reasonable. And it's, Lance, I know that lenders aren't, I think we've said they're about 20-25% in our pool, Jennifer, so they're not going anywhere this year. But hopefully that'll loosen up, right, Lance?
Oh, it absolutely will. Things are getting better. And guys, I miss everybody. And it's time to get together. And it's time to talk about SBA together. So sign up for these conferences. I'm excited because I look at the list, and I've been a speaker at America East, at Mount for 10 years, at Flagel a number of times, and just outstanding conferences. And please
I've
sign
been
up.
at all of these except for Kentucky. So
I have not been to Kentucky either, but I had an invite and had a scheduling conflict.
well, that's going to be a fun one. It's going to be in Louisville. So
Louisville, very good pronunciation. Very good. Hey, Lance, Raman asked a question. For the waiver of the guarantee fees, do you think the program runs out of funds before the program deadline is September 2021? This is 7A.
That's a tough one, Bob, because I do think we're going to bump up against. I think the administrator is going to have to use the 10% that she can bump the program, but I think it'll run. They'll find a way for it to run through the end of the.
Yeah, I agree.
They're going to find it.
Let's go to the last poll question, which is SBA's workout plans must be approved by SBA. True or false?
That's a tricky question, Bob.
Well, that's why I'm going to let you answer it. True says 43%, false say 50%. So.
Well, it depends on the workout plan. The workout plan itself does not have to be approved by SBA unless there's a servicing action within the workout plan that requires SBA servicing center approval. But the workout plan itself does not have to be approved by SBA.
Do you have to notify SBA? Do you have to send them a copy or just file it?
No, you're going to develop the workout plan, execute it, and put it in your file. Again, there are some servicing actions that could be part of a workout plan that would require SBA's approval, but the workout plan itself does not.
What level of legal fees do I need to get SBA's approval?
Anything under 10 does not require SBA's approval. Anything over 10, and I'll, as I always tell participant lenders, if you have legal fees that you think are going to approach 10, have them put a contingency in the budget and go ahead and push it over 10 and get it approved, because Bob, in my career, I've dealt with banks all over the country that said we thought the budget was going to be $7,000. We woke up one day and it was $11,000. When you've exceeded the budget, it's too late to get it approved. So I think you're better off if you're close, put something else in the budget and get it approved.
Is it a fair statement to say, and I know you're going to address this all on Wednesday, that what SBA is truly looking at is the hourly fee by the attorneys? That's what they're going to look at. They're going to defer to you on the workout plan specifics. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, on a litigation plan, they're going to look at the fees and make sure they're reasonable and prudent for the area that you're operating in. That's the reason litigation plans are typically decisioned by a district counsel in the area, the district office in your area.
Anything wrong with picking up the email, picking up the phone, talking to the district counsel before you submit that plan?
I don't think there's anything at all wrong with that. Certainly, I have done that a number of times.
Yeah. What else are you going to talk about on Wednesday?
Well, we're just going to talk about the variety of servicing activities you should consider when a loan becomes delinquent. I think as we go through this, we're going to see the delinquency rates tick up a little bit, and it's important to have all the tools in your SBA toolbox ready to go when those delinquency rates do rise a little bit.
Very good, Lance. I understand you're going to be off the next couple of days. We'll miss you. Jennifer,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us and bringing us up to date. Let's make sure we get you on a regular rotation to tell us what's happening. I would love to talk to you about what the head office is saying. Katie,
Sure.
good to see you as always. And thank you for joining us today for Coleman Report Live and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.
Have a great day.
Bye.